Why do you seem to be spending the most of your time lately in bed, lying down and doing nothing? Do you become weary quickly and don't want to do anything? Do you consider such behavior to be nothing more than laziness? Because there is so much overlap between laziness and burnout, distinguishing between the two can be difficult. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental weariness brought on by an inability to cope with extreme stress. According to a 2010 poll, over 75% of adults in the United States have experienced burnout symptoms, with over 40% of cases being severe. It's more important than ever to educate and better understand the nature of burnout. So, with that in mind, here are 6 strong symptoms that you're experiencing burnout rather than laziness right now. Number 1, you have a sense of being cut off from everything. Do you go through the motions of your daily routine as though you're on autopilot? Is there a recurring sense that you're disconnected from your own self? Depersonalization is something you can be experiencing but not realizing or understanding if you're suffering from burnout. People who are experiencing depersonalization, especially those who are dealing with trauma, describe a peculiar emotional numbness or emptiness, as if they were watching life from the outside. They haven't felt like themselves in a long time. They are uninterested in anything. And they are continually plagued by a sense of helplessness and an incapacity to reclaim control of their lives. Number 2, you used to be highly motivated. Laziness is a personality attribute. Character traits also tend to be consistent throughout time. A lazy individual is uninterested in putting forth effort or dedicating themselves to tasks. If, on the other hand, you used to be self-motivated and high achiever, often excelling in certain areas, and have only recently become fatigued, indifferent, and unmotivated, it's more likely that you're suffering from burnout than laziness, as most people believe. Number 3, you used to be a passionate individual. The difference between someone who is burnt out and someone who is lazy is that the former used to be enthusiastic about things that they no longer are. Burnout can make it difficult to do the things you once loved or felt enthusiastic about, whether it's a talent, a sport, or just your academic or professional performance in general. You may even come to despise or dislike it as a result of how much you overworked and pushed yourself to the limit as a result of it. Ouch! Number 4, you've grown irritated and cranky. Do you find yourself becoming irritable and snappy all of a sudden? Do you ever feel emotionally out of control and have no idea why? Burnout symptoms such as moodiness and irritability are frequent yet often missed. So, if you're having difficulties controlling your emotions, especially if it wasn't previously a problem for you, this could be the cause. Lazy people, on the other hand, are typically quite relaxed, laid back, placid, and unaffected by things, which is a stark contrast to this. Number 5, you've ignored your self-care. If you start neglecting self-care and socially retreat from others, this is one of the most disturbing warning signs that you may be emotionally and physically burned out. Changes in your eating and/or sleeping habits are concerning. Because you're easily weary by even the simplest things, you stop making an effort to groom yourself or appear decent, and you tend to spend much of your time alone doing nothing. The distinction between burnout and laziness lies in the fact that you weren't always like this. And number 6, the changes occurred over time. Finally, and maybe most critically, burnout occurs in stages. So all of the previous issues, such as losing interest and drive in activities we used to enjoy, feeling alienated from yourself and from everything around you, socially withdrawing, and ignoring your self-care, will not occur overnight. According to research, there are 5 distinct stages of burnout, each with varying degrees of severity. The honeymoon period, the start of stress, chronic stress, burnout, and habitual burnout are all things to be aware of. Many people start to show symptoms as early as the second phase, when there is still a moderate amount of stress but optimism, interest, motivation, and performance are all starting to wane. Burnout has become so entrenched in your life by the time you reach the fifth and final stage that the continuous mental and physical weariness becomes more intense and difficult to treat, leaving you more vulnerable to depression and anxiety. When you recognize the indications of burnout early on, it's much easier to get help and recover. That's why it's critical to increase awareness of burnout rather than dismissing it as laziness, as many people do. So, if you or someone you know is suffering from mental or emotional burnout, please don't hesitate to talk to a mental health care expert about it today. If you found this video to be useful, please like it, leave a comment below with your views, experiences, and suggestions, and share it with others who are struggling with burnout. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive notifications when new videos are released. We'll see you in the next video.